we'll do a focus on the shoulder stand today. The shoulder stand has this lovely combination, on the one hand, of that sense of centering in the heart, and on the other hand, it's quite a dynamic movement. It helps the energy to flow. So it's got a combination of kind of calmness and yet this very fluid, gentle, energizing quality. So it can make the body more energized and more flexible, but centered at the same time. So those are the two qualities that I'd like to build up, and we'll work towards doing the shoulder stand at the end. Would you like to come up to a standing position to start with? One thing that we have with the shoulder stand is this quality that it grows long. It grows upwards against gravity. So let's start first of all just in a standing position. In the shoulder stand, obviously we go upside down, but now we can start upright with that feeling of growing long. Make sure that you can feel your feet firmly on the ground. Draw your legs together and take your arms up. At the top, you can just take your fingers together like that. Just take the hands right together and really grow long. Let's just think of long. Feet staying firmly rooted in the ground like the roots of a plant. Then up through your legs, you can draw the legs a bit together. You can tighten a little bit in this region here around the sacrum and the pelvis. And then through your spine, take your awareness up through your spine. Your sides also here, they stretch and become long. And you can allow that length to continue through the shoulders, right up through the arms, right up through to the fingertips. Keep breathing, growing long. As if we're growing up against gravity like a plant. And take the hands down again. We can do this movement called the sunrise, where we start completely relaxed, hanging forwards, and then eventually we'll come up into that same movement of growing long. First of all, just come right down. Be aware that your feet are still rooted together. Your legs form a firm stand which supports you. And just let your upper body hang. Now it's completely subjected to gravity. You can let your head and your neck hang and relax, your shoulders and your arms. Let the breath flow freely. Then you can take your hands together. You can even cross your thumbs if necessary to keep the hands held together. And come right the way up in a big circular movement with the arms. This is like the rising sun. Till eventually the hands come right above the head. And you can even lift up your chest higher. You can lift up your heart. To do that, you need to put a bit more of an activity of stretching through your thoracic spine, the spine between the shoulder blades. You can lift up your heart using the spine behind it. And come down. Let's do the same movement again. Come forward. Let the breath flow gently. Let the head and the neck relax and the face. Keep the feet and the legs just stable and firm. Take the hands together. Make a big circle. Coming upwards, breathing, growing, lifting the chest. Growing long, lifting the heart right up by using more concentrated activity on the upper spine between the shoulder blades. And take the hands down by your sides. So we'll do the sun prayer, and we'll stay with this idea that we want the body to become long, but it doesn't become long through forcing. It becomes long in a similar way that a plant grows up long, because it has so-called etheric forces, energy currents that carry it up into a length. Let's take the hands together. You can imagine that the body is carried outwards into a length by an energetic stream. Take the hands down and look in. Take the right foot back, grow long into your legs, and come up through the spine into a long half moon. Then a firm, long, straight line with your body. Take the knees, chest, and forehead down. Slide along the ground and open into the cobra. Then push into the downward dog, so we make a long-sided triangle. Take the right foot forward. Long legs, pushing into your back leg. Long body right up through the spine, right up through to the fingertips. Other foot forward, looking in. Come right the way up. Just keep breathing and grow and lengthen right the way up. And take the hands down. Hands together. Right the way up, good firmly grounded feet. Growing long. Longer and longer. Take the hands down and look in. Left foot back. Going long through the legs. Long up through the spine and the arms, right up to the fingertips. Then form the plank, firm line. Take the knees down, chest and forehead, arching your back. Sliding forwards and come right up, using the thoracic spine. Form a long triangle, your bottom forms the peak of the triangle. Both sides can be lengthened. Left foot forward and a long movement back into your back leg. Coming up, length. And then come into the forward bend. And come right the way up into that long stretch upwards, breathing from the feet through the whole spine, upper spine between the shoulder blades, right up through to the fingertips, and take the hands down by your sides. Let's come into the scales, which is another movement where we can really think of the body becoming long, this time in a horizontal plane. Take your right foot forward. Step firmly down. Take the arms above the head, and let's build a real length into that body, into your back leg, back heel, and right up through the whole spine to the fingertips. In particular, be aware of this rib cage area around here, so that you really have a good support in your middle that will hold you in the scales. And then you can come into this long movement. Lengthening right through to your back heel, right through your whole body, through the arms, through to the fingertips. Keep breathing and thinking of stretching out into a good length. Return carefully, take the foot down, roll upwards, right up through your upper spine, right up through the arms to the fingertips, and back down again. On the other side, a good step with your left foot. Take the arms above the head, grow lengthways through the back leg into your right heel and through your spine, through the shoulder region, through the arms up to the fingertips, and come into this long, stretched out scales. Growing long. You're held in your middle, around the rib cage, but from that region you also stream out dynamically in the two directions. Return carefully, take the foot down, grow upwards, going long through that spine, through to the fingertips. Take the hands down by your sides. Once again, roll down, just hang forwards, firm legs, let the upper body hang. Shoulders and neck relax, face relaxed, head relaxed. Listen to the flowing breath. And once again, you can come up in a big circle into that long stretch. And free, dynamic, flowing energy carries the body lightly up into its length. And come back down again. We'll do a second round of the sun prayer. This time we're up, as well as thinking of length, we're going to add a bit more of this kind of flowing quality. When we come to the shoulder stand, there's a feeling very much that the body is carried up naturally. It's not a feeling that we have to try to push it up deliberately, but rather there is a natural energy flow that gives that movement a very light and gentle quality. The shoulder stand is gentler than the sun prayer. The sun prayer has more of an active dynamic, but nonetheless we can still have that feeling of being carried, a feeling of naturalness, a feeling of natural flow. Let's take the hands together and come right the way up. We'll do it a little bit faster this time to just get this natural flowing movement coming right forwards, right foot back, coming up into this flowing, lengthening half moon, then into the plank, knees, chest and forehead down, slide along the ground and curl right up into the cobra. Put the toes on the ground and a good length right up into the triangle. Right foot forward, big base, going back into your back leg, streaming up through the spine and arms, hands down, take the other foot forward and look in. Come right the way up and grow, lengthening right up through to the fingertips, and take the hands down. Hands together, take the arms up. Grow and lengthen. Take the hands down by your feet, looking. Left foot back, lengthening through into the back leg. Streaming up through the spine, arms to the fingertips. Come into the plank. Knees, chest and face down. Slide on the ground and curl back up into the cobra. Push into the triangle, good length with your bottom forming the peak, and then the left foot forward, grow into your back legs through from the base of your spine, and also up through the whole spine to the fingertips. Then the other foot forward, and then come right the way up, lengthen and grow, and take the hands down by your sides. we could do a preparatory movement. The shoulder stand has this sense of length, but it begins also with a sense of center, a sense that we have this peaceful gathering point for our energy at the heart center. And we can develop a feeling for this with this simple exercise. You start with your arms outwards, both arms, and you take the hands to touch the heart at the center. And then you unfold the hands back out. Just lie with your hands on the ground and just listen to your breathing for a few times before you start the arm movement. Just start to feel a sense of the natural rhythm of the breath. So with the next breath in, you can take the arms to just touch with your fingers at the heart center. And as you breathe out, you can open the arms back out onto the floor again. Just do that a few times. Breathing in, you take the hands to the center. Breathing out, you open them out. This movement can give us a sense of a center and a periphery. Just relax again now. Take your arms by your sides. Still be aware of your breath. And still be aware of that heart center as the central point. So now you can come up into a first shoulder stand movement. We're going to do this several times because it's early. It's going to be difficult to begin with. Just feel your way up into a first inversion like this, a half shoulder stand with your legs still a little bit bent over, just to get the feeling of your spine and how it has to stretch. Okay, so would you like to have a look over here? So we're going to do lots of times of going up into the shoulder stand quite dynamically. And the idea is to just get the energy flowing upwards. And we're going to do this by first of all falling down, because just as when you bounce a ball, the more it goes down, the more it then bounces back up. It's like this. You drop down and the body goes up. And in that way, we can get the energy flowing. Would you like to sit at the front of your mat? What's at the top is going to go down. What's at the bottom is going to bounce back up. Roll back up. So you can do that. Bring up. And then come back up to a sitting position. Not about the holding, but it's about feeling that flowing movement up. Let the dynamic flow through your spine, carry you up. Once again, come down and you roll up through the spine. With each movement, you'll find you can roll up a little further. Just keep coming back. You can repeat it. You need to have a little breather in between each time, do so. Just in your own rhythm, lots of times. Each time you can stretch the spine a little bit further. You can feel that movement continuing a little further through into your upper spine. Never straining the neck, but just really more focusing on that feeling of a natural flowing movement, a natural unfolding. The more the body becomes permeated with energy, the more flexible it can also become in this region of the spine. And if anybody is more able to do this, this is a bit more difficult, and that's starting with your hands up above your head on the floor like this, and then you have to come up with a more dynamic swing up like that. So it's harder, but some of you might be able to do that, and then you have to give it that extra bit of oomph, which is more energizing again. And it's also quite good to try and grow upwards through the spine with the hands above the head as well. Seeing if you can get that activity of growing through the spine a bit without using your arms to push, but just having the arms above the head. If necessary, you can come up into the shoulder stand and then take the arms above the head once you're up in it. And have a go just at these movements a little bit, stretching the spine from the shoulder region upwards through, so you're just bringing a little bit more flexibility into it. Keep the breath flowing. Okay, and come back to a sitting position again. Let's take the arms right up like this. Let's once again come back to our thought of growing long. Be aware in particular of that region of your spine between the shoulder blades. Lengthening, lifting up your heart center, letting the breath flow, and as you picture that thought of length that's streaming upwards, it transfers more easily into the body, and that's because the mental picturing process creates energy. That energy imprints itself in our energy body, our so-called etheric body, and from there it then moves into the physical body and takes the form of a movement. And take the hands back down again. So let's come into the shoulder stand once again with a longer holding time this time. As we do it, I'll just demonstrate. We'll start, you can come straight up into it like this. And supporting the hands, and we'll start by just feeling at the base of the ground, then the heart center. And then gradually we can let the body more and more unfold and find that natural flowing up from the heart center upwards. So just in your own time, you'd like to just come right the way up. Hands on the ground to start with. You can screw up as much as you can with your hands still on the ground. Then eventually take the hands to the middle of your back. And then be aware of that base that rests on the ground. The base rests. The head, the shoulders, the upper arms. You can feel them quite consciously. You can feel that central point at the heart. And that natural center combines itself with a flowing, flexible energy stream upwards, which carries the body up with it. It's as if the body naturally fits itself into the space that surrounds it, just like a plant will naturally fit itself in amongst all the other plants You can picture that the shoulder stand is like that. It gives us a sense of our own centre, but also it gives us a sense of how we fit in to a greater whole. This is a characteristic of the heart centre. The legs are naturally together. And come back down again. Just come once again into either an upright sitting position, or if you prefer, a kneeling position. And I just want to finish off with this Indian prayer position, where we take the hands out like this. You form a horizontal line with your upper arms, and you form a vertical line with your forearms. And also you can be aware how your spine forms a vertical line. Be aware of that cross between the vertical spine and the horizontal arms. It forms a cross, and the center of the cross is at the heart center. Just keep that heart center in your awareness. Center of the cross. In a minute, we're going to take our hands together, but I'd just like you to mentally prepare for this. When we take the hands together, it's a gesture of making a form out of these dispersed hands, which are in opposite sides of our body. We're going to bring them together to make one united form. So when you're ready, you can do that. You can bring the hands together at the heart and you make one form. And then you can just relax the hands on your lap. And we can finish our session there.